Counter-Strike Global Offensive is a first-person competitive game where terrorists play against counter-terrorists. There's more to it than that, but that is determined by the game mode you're playing, which can be chosen from the main menu. I'll now go through the game types. You can skip bits if you look in the description of this video. The main game style of CSGO can be split into two different map types. The most popular is Defuse, and if you happen to watch a competitive match between pro teams, the chances are it's this mode that's being played. Terrorists start with a bomb and can choose one of two bomb sites to plant it at. The CTs start nearer to those sites and must defend. Either team can win by eliminating the other completely, or by detonating or defusing the bomb. If time runs out, counter-terrorists win. In hostage rescue maps, terrorists start with two hostages which the counter-terrorists must reach, rescue and return to their start zone. They only need to save one of them to win the round. Once again, you can also win by killing the other team, and the terrorists can run down the clock and win on time. These two map types can be played casually or competitively. Casual is played on a 10v10 server. There's no team killing, is far more forgiving, and you only have to reach 8 rounds to win. Competitive mode is ranked, meaning that the game puts you in a 5v5 game with balanced teams, in theory, and your score is determined by how well you perform and whether you win. If you die, you remain dead until the current round is over, which can take up to several minutes. After each round, depending on how you've done and which team won, you're awarded money for bigger and better weapons and items. You play one side for 15 rounds, then switch to the other, with the first team to reach 16 winning the game. Play enough games in this mode and you get a badge to show how well you perform compared with everybody else in the game. This rank can go up or down, depending on whether you get better or worse. More on this in a later video. It's best not to jump straight into this mode if you know nothing about the game. The two sides, counter-terrorist and terrorist, are relatively similar. They share a lot of the same guns, but there are a few differences. Terrorists have access to more powerful and marginally cheaper weapons, while CT ones tend to be more accurate. If you find one on the floor from a dead player, you can take it. You'll soon find ones that favour your style of play. The goal is to win the game by working together as a team, and the most successful ones will develop elaborate strategies to gain them an advantage over the other team. Unlike other games, weapons in CSGO require a fair bit of skill to master. If you hold down the fire button or shoot when moving, you're very unlikely to hit anything. Unfortunately, there's no quick way to master this. It's a case of practice and experience. You will die a lot before you deal out the same sort of punishment to others. There are several other modes supported which tend to favour more casual, drop-in play. These are Deathmatch, Demolition and Arms Race. Deathmatch is the simplest. If you die, you spawn again somewhere in the level. You can choose which weapons to use, and you must kill everybody on the other team. The action is fast-paced, and it's a great mode should you want to practice for a proper match. In Demolition, there's a single bomb site and the maps are smaller. It's like a more laid-back version of Defuse and is a race to reach 11 wins first. If you die, then you remain dead, but if you manage to kill somebody, then your weapon is upgraded for the next round. The weapons get worse before they get better, but get kills most rounds and you can gain access to some powerful sniper rifles. And finally, there's Arms Race. It's like Deathmatch, only you start with a certain weapon and work through the list by killing people. The final task is to knife an enemy, which finishes the game and wins it for your team. But don't expect your team to be pleased with you. It's every man for himself in this mode. A recent update made it so that the top player can be seen through walls by others, making it drastically more difficult for one person to pull ahead of the others in this mode. I personally find Arms Race very frustrating, but there's been a thriving community for this mode for a number of years, well before CSGO even came out. Counter-Strike is a big game and it's growing rapidly. It gets regular updates and new features and is a great game to get into. There's always a match to be played and I have had many memorable experiences in my time playing it. I wish you all the best on yours. What's the next step? I have a basic tutorial on how to aim and what health and armour does, which I recommend viewing if you're wanting to get started with the game. Just click on it to watch it. It's right there, just wanting to be clicked on. Go on, you know you want to.